Yeah, do just hit the arrow as you go through. And if you need help, just let me know.
All right.
Okay.
How everybody doing today? All right. So how many people, by a show of hands, interested in owning a home in the next 12 months? All right. All right.
Applause for that.
Yeah. For sure. All right. How many people been working over 2 years consecutive? By a show of hands. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I got you. This is all good. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Buying a home is really easy when you know how. So the things that I'm gonna go through today is I'm gonna be showing you the things on what you're gonna need so you'll know how to be able to apply for a home. Okay? My name is Carlos D. Smith. Some people call me the credit god. And I have done a lot of things. I've helped a lot of thousands of people, get into homes and, build businesses and things of that nature dealing with credit. And I'm here to help you all too. Thank you, that helped. Also, I wrote a book called Credit and Funding. The things they don't teach you in high school or college, because I was so adamant about this because I didn't find out about credit till I was 36 years old. I have lived majority of my life and didn't even understand credit, okay? Also, by learning credit, I say about 3 years later, I bought me a home, riding private jets, get to meet one of my great mentors, which I used to look up to, which is Master P, all just through understanding credit and teaching people credit. All right. So I'm here on this home buying mission. That's why I want to thank Will, Dr. Dyson, and everybody that's involved to be on this mission with us to make this happen. All right. All right, I done got rid of everything on people's credit, because I know you might be thinking, well, I got student loans, or I got debt, or, I got collections, I got, debt collectors calling me out the wazoo. I got child support. I got repos. I got bankruptcies. I got medical debt. Well, there are laws to protect you and to help you get a second chance, because this is America, and America is about second chances. So we are here to help you get a second chance in life, to get that credit right and get into those homes so you can start building that equity and start, moving in the right direction so you can leave behind your generational wealth. All right, and I know a lot of people think it's impossible, but it's really not. It's actually practically easy, and the thing is it's a lot of information online that people may have for you, and I know y'all probably try. How many people here try to fix their credit? How did it work out? Yeah, I know. So most of the information online is saturated, and unless you have the right algorithm, you go get the wrong information. So we're gonna talk about that today too as well, how to find the right algorithm, how to find the right people. So today I want everybody to follow me on my Instagram page when we come to the breakout room, because I give a lot of good tips and hacks, and also I got something very special for y'all to help y'all get their credit in order. All right. And now I want to talk about the algorithm. All right. What you need to be able to get a house. Right. So your personal credit history needs to be 7 years old, and that's at the top state. It could be lesser. Right. And I know you might be saying my credit ain't 7 years old, but I got a solution for that. All right. You can't have no derogatory accounts. That's another thing. So that's why you're going to need somebody to help you with this credit, which I'm going to have a solution for that for y'all today too in that breakout session, okay? Because we're about moving forward. That's what we're trying to help everybody do, is move forward, all right? Then you're going to need like financial statements or tax returns, depending on if you're self-employed or employed. Most of the people employed, you're going to need like maybe tax returns or W-2s to be able to prove your income, because the credit only gets you approved. The income dictates how much of a house that you can afford. All right, excuse me on that. All right, then your personal credit card utilization. So anybody in here know what credit utilization is? All right, so credit utilization is if you have a credit card, just say it's $1,000 credit card, right? All right, so if you spend over $300 on that credit card, now you're starting to reach over 30% utilization. And once you get to that 30% utilization, not 31%, but once you get at that 30% utilization, it starts to drop your scores. So you want to stay up under 30% utilization on your credit cards to get the highest possible score. And credit utilization on revolving credit cards is 35% of your score. So that's the biggest part of your score that you're gonna have. All right. And as you can see right here, a lot of people ask me about FICO and Vantage score. Whoever wondered about FICO and Vantage, everybody be like, my FICO score or my Vantage score, right? People are always trying to educate me on this. But what it is you have like FICO 8, 9, 10, 6, 7, you know. You got Vantage score 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. They just all different scoring models. It's just things to confuse people. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, all these things just calculate just a little bit different. But if you get your credit scores within those characters that I just gave you, you're going to win every time because it's all going to add up to be a high credit score. All right. And right here, this is an example of Credit Karma. This is the easiest way to be able to tell if your credit scores are, you know, if your different categories are where they at. Like I talked about payment history, that's your credit utilization. You see this one at 88%. If you have Credit Karma, it's a good way to tell because if it's green, it tells you, you know, that you're in good shape, and if it's red, it tells you you need to pay your credit cards down. Very simple, right? Well, this credit card usage. Well, but then we're gonna go to derogatory marks, and one derogatory mark could take your scores to the 500s quickly. So you almost got to be perfect to be able to apply for things. But one thing about a mortgage, you don't have to be perfect with a mortgage, but they're gonna kill you on the interest rates, which means you're gonna be paying more for a house that could end up to like $50,000 or $100,000 more than a person with a great credit score would. So it's best to buy a home with a great credit score. All right, and you see with a credit age at 1 year and 9 months, that's really low. You want to keep that about 6, 7 years, like I mentioned earlier. All right, and I know you were saying like, what if I don't have a 7-year credit history? I'm gonna give y'all some game here. All right, I want y'all to put this in y'all phone, write this down. If you know anybody with credit cards that's in good shape, you can get them to put you on their credit card as an authorized user, right? And their credit history going to reflect on yours to build your credit. So that's why it's good. If you know people that own a house, they know what it takes to get a house, and they probably living by these credit rules. So these are the people I would befriend, because if you hang around 5 people with a house, sooner or later you going to have one too. Y'all believe that? All right. And the finance, well, we don't have to worry about the financial statements or the tax returns because I know that y'all have that. And just make sure you keep checking on your credit utilization. You know, even with the authorized user, just say you got a high credit card utilization, here's go a hack for you. If you have somebody add you as an authorized user on a higher limit card, it'll lower your overall utilization too as well. All right. And also you got to have a low amount of personal inquiries. You need a low amount of inquiries on your credit report. So a lot of people get inquiries confused, right? A lot of people think inquiries is every time that you pull your credit. You can look at your credit many times if you want to, nothing's going to happen. But when you apply for credit, that's when it starts to take your score. And they only add up to like maybe 1, 2, 3 points at a time, but the more you get, they start adding up and they can really take your credit score, especially when applying for a car. Yeah, because car lot, they'll run your credit 100 times to get you approved. All right. And I know credit is the main reason why most people never end up buying a home, but you know, I'm gonna talk about my situation a little bit. I grew up in 3 different homes when I was younger, right? One house made me resilient, was my mom's home. You know, back in the 80s, you know, we had an epidemic that kind of ruined a lot of our uncles, aunties, grandparents, And it kind of shattered some of these kids and their futures because of addiction, you know. Also, I had another house that I grew up that gave me determination. And that was at my grandma's house. We had 17 people live in one house right down the street in Memphis, right? And if you didn't make it to the dinner table, when they said dinner ready, oh, you're gonna be left out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had to have the determination and fight that built me. And that was at my mom's house. And then I had my grandmother. She was apostolic faith or whatever. They didn't watch TV, they didn't celebrate holidays. And that's where I grabbed structure, because I thought a lot, and I believed that I could do anything because of the time that I spent with myself. You always need to have time to spend with yourself to structure things out in your life, right? But those three households, what made me who I am, because I got a little bit of the good, I got a little bit of the middle, and I got a little bit of the good, of the bad, you know, so that's what it is. And this was my first home that I bought at the age of 42 years old. I learned out about credit at 36, 42, I bought this home. It was 8,000 square feet. I bought it at $540,000, my first home I ever bought, because I was patient and I made sure that I had enough income to make sure I could finish it through. And what I end up doing, and I'm gonna talk about this a lot, like what I end up doing is when I bought this home, I bought it as an investment. I didn't buy it because I really loved it. I really loved the house, I really did. It was my baby. But I bought that house in thinking like, okay, it got equity in it. What if I finish out this basement, how much would it be worth? So I end up selling this house for $1 million 2 years later. So that's the power of owning a home. Okay? And I grew up, and I'm not an educated guy. I grew up, I went to Kingsbury High School. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played basketball. I barely graduated. I had a teacher that made me stay after school 2 weeks to finish my lesson just to make a D to graduate. So I'm not nothing special or anything. It's just that I had the determination to fight. All right? And another thing that I did, I grabbed mentors, right? So the first mentor I grabbed was a tax mentor. They taught me how to do taxes. And what happened is, my cousin said, I had this lady doing my taxes. I said, for real? I was like, she needs some customers? You know, I'm always thinking about the hustle, y'all. She needs some customers? So I went up there and met her. She said, yeah, you bring me a customer, I'll give you $100 a piece. I was like, that sounds like a plan to me. So I ended up bringing about 200 customers. I did pretty good, you know. Next year, she didn't end up being my mentor, because what I seen that she was doing, she wasn't doing it right. So I found this other man that was working in the office named John Mayfield. So that was my first mentor. He taught me how to do taxes and run my own business. And after that, I took the money from the tax office and opened up a barber shop. And times got hard, even doing that, you know. I slept on the floor in my barbershop some nights just because, you know, tax season only, seasonal, you know what I'm saying? I had to pay the bills on the shop all year round, on the barbershop and the tax office, so I kind of inflated myself. But discipline is what got me through, you know. I owned the barbershop and the tax office. I was 36 years old. I didn't own a car, didn't even have nowhere to stay. So the thing is, you know, that's when I realized that I needed credit. So my first mentor was taxes. My second mentor was credit. And I found this guy, and he fixed my credit in like 9 days. I said, dude, what are you doing? He said, yeah, you got some business, don't you? You want some money? I said, yeah, give me some money. He ended up giving me like $150K on my personal, $150K on my business. That's what jump-started my life. And like me, I'm always about the hustle, right? Hey man, can you show me how to do that? I know a lot of people need that service. And that's how I got into helping people getting homes and things like that. And I've been doing a really good job at it. I'm talking about, with me and my wife, we probably helped over about 4,500 people in the last 4 or 5 years get homes. So we know exactly what it takes. All right. And another thing that I started to self-educate myself, I started reading a lot of books, Napoleon Hill, things of that nature, right? And I think that's mandatory because a lot of people, what we do when we get older, we stop learning. And things change every day, so we have to learn every day. Laws change every day. How to buy a house change. It didn't change like 3-4 times since I've been doing credit. Like the things that you may need, the criteria. Like they gonna ask you for a check stub, then they might ask you to write a explanatory letter, right? To show like why you got these many inquiries on your account. And you got to write a letter. Sometimes those be the small things that stop people from going into their home, you know, just the little extra things that the underwriters ask you. All right. So after that, you know, I started teaching people whatever. Like I said, we was riding private jets. This is one of my favorite days that I ever remember in my life when I was able to call my daughter and pick her up. Look at her head, y'all. Pick her up from my baby mama and say, hey, come on, we going to Disney World. So I put on the first private jet at the age of 7 years old. And that's just by seeing perseverance and they're home. All right. So what I'm saying is, why try to figure it out when somebody already knows? And Will here, a great guy, met him years ago. You know, he bringing all the resources here to make sure that everybody's successful. And I'm gonna put my 100 heart and soul into making sure y'all get the resources that y'all need, because I know credit is like one of the toughest challenges that any man can have to stop them from getting to the next level. And I thank y'all so much for coming out. I want y'all to come to my breakout room in my breakout session, because I got something very special for y'all that I'm developing, because I was thinking about how can I make credit repair affordable. So I want y'all to come and see me and check out what I got to say. All right? How long was that?